lục đàn dây.
Nên là chung lại một cái này.
Very boring. So it's a new year, and you're all very excited about the new year. In America, I have one new year, but in Cambodia, you have three.
Nơi là xã hội của mình miền Bắc trôi năm tầm muối lên là sụp mai nên đỏ bơi.
There's today the International New Year. There's in April you have my New Year, and next month you have the Chinese New Year. And the New Year, people like to get new things. They like to they move to a new house, buy a new motor, a new bicycle,
trong ba mặt tô mây con mây
new clothes.
áo mây.
And here we have a new preacher.
Bây giờ cái nhiên thu hoạch bài mây nó dùng bài nhiên mây như thế.
Alright, so today I want to talk about my theme for my messages is courage.
Nơi nông và
Courage is doing what you're afraid to do.
cứ tha stay là ham cứ cả lá là cái này dân thấy khai nông cạn vừa với mùi.
Now let's say that again. Let's all say that together. Right, we're going to say that more often as we go through.
Dương tôi tại thì gì biết đi, đồng bây giờ muốn được dương cho được con sẽ đi bài bóng trong tôi tại nước trăm bị biết đi.
Are you all familiar with what happened in America on September 11th, 2000? Okay, he assures me that you're all familiar with those events.
Nhưng bằng phát từ lục tô tha nơi xã đoàn Mỹ nơi tôi đã làm việc để chỉ cam thì cũng lục lục đi tới phụ khi đã làm một nó diễn tân một thứ hai.
In America, we just call it 9/11.
9/11.
It's one of those days that changed the world.
Cứ thời ngày hôm nay đãមានប្រតិកម្មផ្លាស់ផ្លាយផ្លាស់ប្ដូរដល់ពិភពលោក
3 days in history like that. In Cambodia, you have a day today, January 7th. It's a day that sort of changed your world. By what I mean is when it changed your world, you look at that day and you say, life before that day was different than life after that day. September 11th is one of those days.
ដូច្នេះដល់សហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកគាត់ស្លាប់មួយដល់សហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកនឹកចាំមិនភ្លេច
Life before September 11th, things seemed normal and peaceful that day.
ប៉ុន្តែបន្ទាប់ពីថ្ងៃទី11កញ្ញា
Not only America finds itself in a war on terror, but the whole world finds itself in a war on terror. Now, a long time ago, there was a day that changed the world, and we just celebrated that a few days ago, Christmas Day. The biggest day that changed the whole world. The day when
ហើយថ្ងៃ
I want to look at some of the things that happened
ការ
regarding
ស្គាល់បរិមម្នាក់ឈ្មោះថា
Todd Beamer,
ថា Beamer
Jeremy Glick,
Jeremy Glick
Tom Burnett,
Tom Burnett
Mark Bingham,
Mark Bingham
and others.
ហើយមានមនុស្សជាច្រើនទៀតដែលគេស្គាល់គេដឹងតែក្នុងបានរួចរួមមានការល្អការចេញពីថ្ងៃនោះ
On September 11th, those men woke up ordinary people.
បរិ
But now, they are seen as heroes.
ដែល
They are seen as heroes. What happened that made them heroes?
តា
Because the plane was late, after the plane was hijacked, when their plane was hijacked, the people started calling their families on the telephone. And they were told about what was happening around in New York City and in Washington, about the other planes. These passengers started to know that this was not a regular hijacking, that they started to think that their plane was going to be crashed into a building. They were afraid, all of them. There was about 50 people.
ចឹងសម័យមុន
But they started to realize that unless something changed, their plane would soon crash into a building. They began to come up with a plan.
គេក៏ចាប់ផ្ដើមរៀបចំគម្រោងការមួយ
They decided that we have to try to regain control of the airplane.
គេក៏នាំគ្នាថាធ្វើម៉េចដើម្បីឲ្យអាចគ្រប់គ្រងស្ថានភាពនៅក្នុងជើងយន្តហោះនៅក្នុងយន្តហោះដែលគេកំពុងធ្វើដំណើរ
And some of these people, they were talking to their wives or mothers or fathers or aunts and uncles on the telephone. And they were talking about the plans, and some of the family were like, no, don't do it, you will get hurt. And some other family members said, yes, you have to try. All the sound in the cockpit of the plane 30 minutes before it crashed. People on the ground that saw the airplane come in says that before it crashed, it was flying like this.
មនុស្សម្នានៅខាងក្រោមដែលគេ
The plane crashed into a field. It made a hole 15 meters deep.
គឺ
Before that all happened,
មុននឹងការនឹងកើតឡើង
those people on the airplane were heard on the phones praying. It's recorded one of men, Todd Beamer, was praying the Lord's Prayer with an operator on the ground. They were afraid, but they gave their lives to save other people because they knew that their plane was going to be used as a weapon. There were some other stories. Oh, one more thing. There was a little boy, the son of Todd Beamer, who was asking his mother later. He was wondering if Daddy was in heaven with Jesus. People for the fire department that went to help that were killed. One of them was a Catholic priest. He was praying for another fireman that had fallen when building fell on. She didn't see her husband until a few days later. She saw her husband's picture in a magazine.
គាត់ក៏បានឃើញរូបភាពស្វាមីរបស់ខ្លួននៅលើទស្សនាវដ្តី
She saw him, he was a paramedic, and then the building fell on him. There's another young man
មានបរិបក្មេងម្នាក់ទៀត
named Michael Weinberg. Weinberg. That's nice. His sister worked in the World Trade Center on the 74th floor.
អូនស្រីរបស់ Michael ធ្វើការនៅជាន់ទី74នៅក្នុងអគារពាណិជ្ជកម្មពិភពលោក
That's really high.
ពូមែនទេគឺមើលជាន់ទី74មិនទៀបទេសូមយើងរកអត់មានអគារឡើងពូនឹងទេ
When he heard about the crash, he rushed to the firehouse. So he called his sister and told her to get out. He got to the firehouse, got in his uniform, and drove to the scene in the accident in a truck along with the priest who died. They drove together to the scene.